Yes. It's steel.
But you can't be any geek off the street. Gotta be handy with the steel, if you know what I mean.
Keeping it real.
Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is Steven and this is Steel Keeping It Real. So you know what today is. It's Throwback Thursday! Because it is Throwback Thursday, what I like to do is dig deep into the crates, go back to the days of yesteryear, and play you some classic hits. So, the next one on the scene is a very powerful song. It is, if you saw the thumbnail, it is Paul Hardcastle's 19. And it's an anti-war song, specifically referencing the Vietnam War. And it actually takes excerpts from a documentary and something else to make up the actual song. Now, of course, some people came out and talked about how it wasn't, that the words weren't factual, that they were taken out of context, and they were taken out of context, because I finally found the original documentary that this song is based off of, or the news and the narration is off of, and yeah, it's very interesting, but it doesn't diminish, you know, actually what we know about the Vietnam War. You know, they were sending off the young, the people that were, you know, 18 and just graduated from high school, maybe even 17, just graduated from high school, you know, and that's one of the big main reasons of the draft, that people were dodging the draft, is because they didn't want to fight in that war. And I don't blame them. You know, we went over there and fought, and what did we get from it? Just a bunch of dead soldiers. And that incident, and there's an incident called the My Lai Massacre, which was heavily broadcasted in papers and the news and everything like that, that all of a sudden our soldiers were coming back from war and they were being spit on, they were being, you know, chastised, they were being berated and everything else like that. And that, not alone with the subject of fighting in a war zone, was that hard. You have to come home and people don't even respect you. So what I've seen happen since the Vietnam War is that no matter what, because we don't blame the troops for what they're doing unless they're doing heinous acts, we actually look to our leaders and say, like, you got us into this. They were just doing what they were told to do. They were drafted. They had no choice unless you know, dodge the draft. And so now our soldiers, we always say, support our troops. I don't think there's been a time since the Vietnam War and all that we haven't said we support our troops and what they were doing, almost no matter what. And so I do like that sentiment that we do. We just do. It's almost into, you know, our vocabulary, or, you know, just our consciousness. Oh, don't forget to support our troops and this and that, which is great. So, if you like videos like this and others on my channel, please don't forget to hit the like button, the subscribe button, and the notification button, because I'm doing at least 15 videos each and every week. Oh, what I forgot to show you is that this song was extremely popular. Let me move over, nope, that way. Move over this way. If you look over here, I got how it performed on the charts. Look at all those number ones. Do you see that? It's ridiculous. But, you know, VH1 considered this somewhere in the 70s of the top 100 one-hit wonders. And I don't think Paul Hardcastle was a one-hit wonder. I think it was a two-hit wonder. But that's all we got. I didn't even know he was English until today. I just, because he doesn't sing, he just plays music. So, yeah. So, without any further ado, here is Paul Hardcastle and 19.
And here we go.
In 1965, Vietnam seemed like just another foreign war. But it wasn't. It was different in many ways, and so were those who did the fighting. In World War II, the average age of the combat soldier was 26. In Vietnam, he was 19. 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 19.
The heaviest fighting of the past 2 weeks continued today, 25 miles northwest of Saigon.
I wasn't really sure what was going on.
19. In Vietnam, the combat soldier typically served a 12-month tour of duty, but was exposed to hostile fire almost every day. 19.
In Saigon, a U.S. military spokesman said today more than 700 enemy troops were killed last week in that sensitive border area. Throughout all of South Vietnam, the enemy lost a total of 2,689 soldiers. Administration study, half of the Vietnam combat veterans suffer from what psychiatrists call post-traumatic stress disorder. Many vets complain of alienation, rage, or guilt. Some succumb to suicidal thoughts. 8 to 10 years after coming home, almost 800,000 men are still fighting the Vietnam None of them received the hero's welcome. Purple Heart. Saigon. Purple Heart. Saigon. I wasn't really sure what was going on.
All right, so you see that, and thankfully it wasn't graphic, even though I'm not going to get any type of monetization on this because, I said this on another video that ended up getting blocked, but I tried the version of where I could pause the video, and it was a big disaster, and I worked on it for like 2.5 hours, and then I was like, you know what, next thing you know, it's like 7 o'clock. I was like, damn, I gotta make videos, and I gotta eat, and I haven't eaten yet. I got a ribeye in my microwave at room temperature, just waiting to go on my Foreman grill. And I got some broccoli, and I'm gonna steam some broccoli, and that's gonna be my dinner. And then if I have dessert, it's going to be Ben and Jerry's chocolate fudge brownie. Sounds great, doesn't it? Okay, let's get back to the song. So, the fact that they had to go through all that. And the other thing that he wanted to raise awareness on this song was post-traumatic stress disorder. Because, as he said, there are so many people came back from Vietnam that are still fighting it to this very day. And back in the 80s, you would always see movies like Rambo and Missing in Action and all these other movies where they were fighting Vietnam again. People were harassing them. That's the whole thing about Rambo. It's like Rambo was coming home and he was walking and he had to get through the town. The sheriff stops him and all of a sudden they start berating him because of he's wearing military jacket, but he's just walking through and they harass him and the rest is history. So I can understand how psychological. Oh, Forrest Gump, Lieutenant Dan, that whole scene, we see movies about Vietnam, or we see subject matter about Vietnam, but until you actually look at it for real and kind of study it, which I have. I've seen this whole. I can't remember. I found it when I was working at a job, and the only thing that this job would allow you to do on the internet, outside of looking up what you're supposed to look up, everything else was blocked except if it was .gov. And one day I went in there and I typed in certain things, and I ended up learning all the things about the My Lai massacre and the people that were involved and the people that or the person that got scapegoated in the whole thing, and they just wanted to wash it over, and how during that war they would fudge the numbers of how many people were killed just to keep America's support in the war, and the senators and everything else like that supporting the war, and it was just wrong. It was just the wrong war to be doing in the first place. We wanted to say it was about communism, but if a country wants to go communist, let them go communist. We're not going head to head with the biggest one, like the Soviet Union at the time. We allowed them to be communist. We allowed North Korea to be communist. So let Vietnam go communist. Let it go. But
that's all I have to say about that.
So, if you are still here, I thank you very much for staying tuned. I really do appreciate it. First and foremost, I want you guys to like the video as much as I like making them for you. After that, all you need to do to help me out with my channel is to like, subscribe, share, and comment.